Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone here tonight. I'm seeing lots of familiar friends and familiar faces scrolling down in the comments, but I'm also seeing lots of lovely new names and new faces. So welcome to each and every one of you, and welcome if you are not watching live at some point later on in the week. Welcome as well to you too, because it is at least evening somewhere in the world every time you hear it said. So I'm right, and I'm going to stick by that. It's very, very good of you all to join us, and it's a great pleasure to host these evenings from Casa del Nick every Thursday night. But I want to start by thanking everyone for their kind words and comments after last week's service and memorial for our dear Reverend Wendy. It is touching to see how many people have responded with kindness, love and compassion, not just to everyone who knew Wendy, but also towards her family, and the extended thanks and gratitude has been sent on, of course. So to tonight, well, friends, one of the things that happens week in, week out between services is that I don't stop doing the work of spirit, because that's what we do. Your little window into my life and my bedroom every Thursday night is just a small portion of the experiences and the wonder that I have throughout the week. And one such conversation that I was having this week was with Chris Michael. Now, he's been watching for quite a while, and we have chats, as I do with many other people. One of the things we were talking about was fiction, and how the works of fiction can sometimes reflect the words of spirit that we get week in, week out at services, at churches. They mirror scripture, they mirror philosophy. And one of the things that we discussed and mentioned, of course, is that there's a particular word in spiritualism that we use called inspiration. And of course, when it comes to writings, that inspiration is also there for those authors. Now, as with everything else, there is always an element of individual input and influence and interference in many occasions. But for the most part, the core messages that we get for philosophies of all walks of life, and also through those words that are wondrous and uplifting from fiction and poetry, can also come from that same inspirational place. Now, the reason I mention this is because everyone knows that I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to certain TV programs. I don't make no bones about it, I don't hide it. But one of the things that I've gotten into over the last few months is a program called The West Wing, which was a fictitious adaptation, shall we say, of what it would be like to work in the White House in America. And one really noteworthy and lovely actor who is in that, Martin Sheen, is such a wonderful speaker. And of course, when you're into something, you Google lots and you look at YouTube videos. And I found a particular speech which was given by Martin Sheen, also known as President Bartlett, who never existed. And I wanted to share the words that he said. It was at the We Day event in 2010. And basically, it reflects the fact that not only are we all one, but we are all united in hope. And so I wanted to share these words with you because, frankly, they could have very easily been written by a spiritualist. So here we go. There is an absolute certainty that lost causes are still the only causes worth fighting for, and that non-violence is the only weapon to use. Each time someone stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, they send forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and injustice. Now, those words were spoken at Cape Town, South Africa, at the university there in 1966 by Robert Francis Kennedy, and they are enshrined on his memorial at Arlington National Cemetery. And as well, they have been a powerful source of inspiration for generations ever since. The more the world changes, the more it remains the same. I believe because the three most important needs of every human being on earth are not food, clothing, and shelter as much as they are the need for freedom, justice, and healing. It is the gross inequality for food, clothing, and shelter that divides us, and the absolute necessity for freedom, justice, and healing that unites us. Clearly, we need a far more realistic understanding of who we are and why we're here in order to have an honest relationship with each other. Consider the following from Earth as a Village by Philip M. Hoster at Stanford School of Medicine. And even though the total number of people has grown, the proportions will be similar if we could shrink the Earth's population over if we could shrink the Earth's population of over 6.5 billion people down to a single village consisting of 100 people with all the existing ratios the same, it would look something like this. There would be 57 Asians, 8 Europeans, 21 Africans, and 14 people from the Western Hemisphere. There would be 52 women and 48 men. There would be 70 non-whites and 30 whites. There would be 70 non-Christians and 30 Christians. There would be no doctor, no nurse, no dentist, no hospital or clinic, and no school. There would be no safe drinking water. There would be no common language, and there would be no electricity and no paved roads. There would be 70 people unable to read or write. There would be 50 people suffering from malnutrition. There would be one person near death and one person near birth. The entire food supply for the village would depend entirely on outside sources. 6 people in that village would possess 59% of the entire world's wealth, and all 6 would be US citizens. There would be 1 college graduate, 1 TV, 1 computer, and the average person in the village would be a 13-year-old Chinese girl. Whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, we are all responsible for each other and the world, which is exactly the way it is, because consciously or unconsciously, we've made it so. And while none of us made any of the rules that govern the universe, we do make all the rules that govern our own hearts. And we are all beneficiaries of those many heroic strangers who have gone before us over the centuries, who assure us that the world is still a wonderful and safe place despite our fears. And we're not asked to do great things, we're asked to do all things with great care. Such as an ideal is rare in a culture of so many compromised values, and so much cynicism in a culture that too often knows the price of everything in value of nothing. And yet there remains a very real and mysterious yearning deep within every human heart that compels us to reach outside of ourselves and to help others for our own sake. This yearning is a true manifestation of our true selves, and it can lead to the very first small conscious acts of personal courage, which can bring rejection from the crowd and satisfaction from the heart. But this yearning can also be very costly as well, if not so, we've been left to question its value. And this, above all, one heart with courage is the majority. Over the entire history of the world, every truth started as a blasphemy, and no one has ever made a contribution of any real work without self-sacrifice, personal suffering, and sometimes even death. The Irish tell a story of a man who went up to heaven and stood at the gates of St. Peter and said, "Let me in." And St. Peter said, "Yes, of course, just show us your scars." And the man says, "I have no scars." And St. Peter says, "What a pity. There's nothing worth fighting for." My fondest wish for each and every one of you watching here today is that you will find something in your life worth fighting for. Because when you do, you will have discovered a way to unite the will of the Spirit and the work of the flesh, and all of humanity will have discovered fire for the second time. It is my profound wish that the light from that fire will illuminate your path to the place where the heart is without fear, and that the head is held high, where knowledge is free, and where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depths of truth, and tireless thriving stretches its arms towards perfection with a clear stream of reason, has not lost its way to the dreary sands of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee and who, ever widening thoughts and actions into that heaven of freedom. Let us all awake. Thank you all for listening, and God bless you all. And so now, friends, it is time to welcome a very lovely lady. She has been a friend of mine for a very long time, and she's a friend to this church too. And I would like to introduce and welcome our medium for tonight, Sandra Shelley.
Hi.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Doing all right, thank you. Busy.
Good. Absolutely.
Lots of people needing me at the moment, which is nice.
Well, it kind of reflects what we were just talking about as well. Where doesn't it?
Yeah, your words spot on. Mm.
Well, not mine, President Josiah Bartlett,
Yeah,
aka Martin Sheen, but
it makes you think, doesn't it? As you say,
it does.
Fiction, but whoever wrote those words, were they?
There you go. Exactly.
So
that is the $20 million question.
Absolutely.
If I had $20 million, I'd buy the answer, but I can't, I haven't, and I won't. So there we are. So thank you for joining us tonight, my love. It's always a pleasure to have you.
As always.
And it's really, really good to see you, though. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so now, my friends, it is that moment we have all been waiting for. Another good friend of mine. She is a very astoundingly astute, not a very stout, this is literally just Pepsi, I promise. But a very astoundingly astute young lady who has been my friend for many a year. Give a big Littleport welcome, a big internet welcome to the principal minister of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, Reverend Lynn Gibbdis-Wood.
Hello.
Thank you so much for your welcome. And I'm sure that everybody was riveted by your address, Rev Nick. And I was wondering where the joke was going to come in. And of course, we did get one at the end.
Yes.
Well, it was a sort of joke. Because, I'm always put in mind of the little vicar, priest, pastor, one of us lot, sitting there wondering what they're going to write about or speak about at their next service or meeting, as we do. And the little one I had in mind was the one who's sitting there praying, because we do a lot of that, but praying for some kind of sermon that they can fit around the joke that they have.
Done that a lot.
Although yours was very patently not formed around your joke.
No.
But the joke was put in to sort of level it up a bit, make people think it wasn't quite so, deep and serious as it really was. But yeah, so it took some concentration really to go along with that, and that's as it should be. But then I thought, well, then the onus is on me now to lighten the load a little. And I thought to myself, you talked about inspiration, you talked about sort of spirit input, really, and you talked about an American would-be president, because Robert Kennedy never was, but his brother was. And and I was and a fictional president of the United States. And of course, you know, we owe our actual religious belief system to the United States of America, because the spirit individual who kicked all this spiritualism lark off was actually an American, and it was at a time before the American Civil War. It was the United States, but it wasn't the United States of America as we know it. And of course, we do know that that Civil War was presided over in a way by the President Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, of course, we all know, was a spiritualist. And there were many seances held and sittings held in the you know, halls of office. And you know, spiritualism itself, as we say, came from America, only because, in actual fact, that the Wesley family, you know, who are the founders of Methodism in this country, 100 years before, actually had the same noises, bangings and rappings going on in their house for about 3 months, and they studiously avoided it. Very British, isn't it? It's very English. Well, we don't quite know what's going on here, and it could be a little frightening, but, you know, as long as it doesn't frighten the horses, it'll be all right, and it may go away if we don't do anything about it. And the Wesley family did nothing whatsoever about it. And after this sort of aggravated individual in spirit who was trying to get their attention to start spiritualism here in this country, in England, started throwing things around. Well, you can imagine, you know. So the Fox family, their cottage, they didn't have to have things thrown about. They just had the noises, and they were, you know, brave enough, shall we say, or without that kind of inhibition, they decided to ask, to, you know, because Morse code had been invented, so all these bangs, you know, they thought, I wonder if they're intelligent bangs, you know, sounds a bit like Morse code. Anyway, they set up a conversation with this individual, this American individual in spirit, who them upstairs were trying to, you know, instigate this way of life that we so enjoy. And of course, that started it off, because everybody came to listen to the noises and everything. Where the Wesleys had said, please go away, you know, don't bother us. We don't want to be shown up with our neighbours. You know, the Americans, they rushed out and told their neighbours about it. Everybody rushed to see them. You know, they had crowds gathering to listen to the noises and making sense out of them. And of course, that's how spiritualism started. So spiritualism started in America, and not over here as it could have, which was very interesting, you know, when you think about it. So, yes, Lincoln himself, as I say, who was not a fictitious president, was actually a spiritualist, and had many sittings, and, you know, recorded. And then, of course, it came to this country sometime after that. So I thought to myself, so Reverend Nick, you said a great deal in that. And I thought to myself, now, how on earth would anybody say anything more than that, really? But as I said, you mentioned inspiration, and you mentioned about fire. You know, you mentioned how human beings, you know, actually found fire, you know, that they, this is the second fire, you know, you said, the second finding of the fire. And that was very emotive. The fact is, you know, everything I believe that the human race has done right from its beginning has been inspired by those upstairs in spirit. Sometimes we can call it God or the Great Spirit, you know, whatever, you know, the name of the deity for whoever, you know, whatever religious group and so on might call. But the fact is that we have this great creator, the Almighty, and somehow or other, you know, it filters down. And so there were, you know, you can imagine spirit upstairs knocking on the brain box of this group of people saying, if you rub two sticks together, you'll make a spark. And then, you know, it'll catch fire, and you'll have fire, and you can warm yourselves. You can heat your water. As somebody who spent a long time in what they call a cold water canyon in the States, in other words, a flat with no hot water in it, cold water tap. You had to boil the water up if you wanted a bath or whatever, good old days, ha ha. Many a child has been washed by me in the sink with, the hot water being poured into the cold, and then you put the child in and so on, because there was no hot water tap. Anyway, so fire, as we know, is very important. And of course, the spirit people inspired those early human beings to invent fire. But you see, if you think about it, you can sit in a wood for a long time and not know how to make a fire. Think about it, even now. We're the same human beings now as we were then. Put two human beings in a wood with nothing, and then tell them they've got to make a fire. No one's going to know, are they? So how did that happen? Spirit input. Rub two sticks together. Somebody was inspired. I'm going to rub these two sticks together. Ugh, and they made a spark, and they got this fire. So what a wonderful thing to have happened. But if people think that these things just happen by chance, by a miracle, think about it. There's no way that it's anything short of a miracle, in fact, because if you get a load of human beings together, mostly they're useless unless they're given things. Put a load of people in a field and say, right, you've got to feed yourself, clothe yourself, make a fire, warm your food up, heat your water up, do all these things. Not a clue. How would they do it? We know how they could do it. They could ask. Yeah. They could ask. And they will get people telling them, you do this or do that. And if they couldn't speak to them because they were so thick, because most of us are, they would show them in symbols. Now, as mediums, we work with symbols, don't we? We know that thought is all symbols, and our language translates those symbols into communicable sounds that people can pick up, or signs if they can't hear. Or touch if they can't hear or see. So the thing is this, that spirit input has had spirit input right from the beginning. And there are all these human beings now who have only learned how to do things like make a fire because they've been taught by people who were taught before them. But right in the very beginning, they didn't know. Have a picture then, if you will, everybody, of the symbolic Adam and Eve, the so-called two people. Well, we know it couldn't be two people, but a few people that were made. And they all didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to dress themselves, or nothing. So they had to be told. And the story is that God himself at the time, or itself, told them what to do, spoke to them. So if we understand that as spiritualists and as mediums, we understand that they were given that inspiration and told how to go about their lives. The fact that so many people got hold of that and decided to make a whole load of rules and regulations as the time went on, hoping, I suppose, to curb the worst excesses of the animalistic behaviours of human beings, and that's not to malign animals because they're dear things and innocent. Some of the worst excesses of the human nature. We got bogged down in all these rules and regulations that sometimes they get hurled against us, don't they? They were written down and then we get bashed by them. Well, of course, what I always suggest to people is that we read all those holy texts, all those sacred texts, and read them as spiritualists and find out, understand the inspirational part, the spirit input. And if people start to tell you that, you can't love another person who's the same sex or gender as yourself, that's rubbish. They put that in afterwards. It's just the whole thing. So I just say to people, like St. Paul said, discern the spirit, obviously, but it was spirit input first and is now. So, and it always will be. So I think that, that I haven't got my own joke to tell you. Fortunately, I think, Reverend Nick, you're thinking to yourself, because I can't actually think of a reasonable joke to say about this. But you know, I do appreciate that all of us who speak to people on behalf of our way of life, of our wonderful religious belief system, and you know, as spiritualists, we try and say to people, you know, that we are not on our own, that we are spirit here and now. We come from spirit. We can have communication with spirit, with individuals in spirit. That everybody that ever was is still over there in the world of spirit, and is able to influence us down here, which is just as well, because otherwise there we would be all wondering how we would have to sort of do something else. And you know, if they told us how to make fire in the first place and how to do various things, how much more can they tell us now? And you know, all these things that are happening now with this COVID virus, and people are working flat out to try and find an antidote, a medicine. You know, all this is spirit inspiration. None of these people could do anything on their own. Everything is by inspiration. And you know, I think that we should have hope for the future, because spirit are up there doing a tap dance on all these people's heads, saying, look, you know, it's going to be all right. And it's up to us to explain to people that it is going to be all right, that there is no, you know, there is no apocalypse on its way. You know, God is not going to destroy the world, because, you know, the world that was created was said to be good. And the promise is that there will be no mass destruction. And the other thing is that I want to say, just in passing, as it were, you know, this idea that if you don't believe a certain thing, that you won't get to heaven, i.e., you know, for example, the world of spirit, that's absolute rubbish. And everybody goes to the realms of light. Everybody is spirit here and now. We've come from there. We will go to there. And people that are over there, you know, are fed up really with people not accepting the fact that they can communicate with us. And our mediums, you know, we just have to keep going, you know, in the face of all sorts of, you know, ridicule and downright insult and everything else. Why people do that, you know, we can only wonder. You know, they're trying to hold on to the reins of power. We understand that, the orthodoxies and so on. But we shouldn't be frightened of that. And we should just keep going and know that we're telling the truth to people, and we're cheering them up. And that's the main thing. You know, the human beings need to be cheered up, particularly at times like this, when so much is going wrong for everyone. And we need them to know that those they love are still there and caring about us. And when we ask for a miracle, that those miracles may not be some sort of, you know, flash of thunder and lightning and something amazing, you know, but they're the little miracles that we experience every day. You know, the little miracles every day. You know, the teenager who's got a terrible spot and hopes that it'll go away before they go out that night, you know, and it'll go. And it, you know, just something wonderful. But there's a miracle. So, you know, I suppose that's sort of, it was a rather long time ago that I ever had to worry about that. But we'll skate over that one. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful evening tonight. And I know that, Sandra, you'll do us proud, you know, and the spirit world will be there. And, you know, everybody will enjoy that contact and communication. Even if they don't get a message themselves, at least it will prove to them that what we're talking about is the truth. And that, you know, if they want to get an answer, they can ask. You know, some people just call it prayer, but if you actually ask, you know, them upstairs for help and inspiration and input, that you will get that help and you will get that inspiration. And you know, we don't need to know about how to make fire anymore, fortunately, but we do need to know, you know, how we're going to deal with this COVID virus. And viruses, we know, are tameable, because when my friends were suffering with HIV back in the you know, in the 80s, and I lost friends to that, it was before they found the medications that would stem that, and people are now living, with full-blown, autoimmune deficiency syndrome, and which is called AIDS, of course, for short. And they're actually being able to live with that, and so if they can do that, if they can get inspiration to find, an antidote to one virus like that, which was a wicked virus, this wicked virus will also be defeated as well, I'm sure. And I think that people must understand that this is what we can tell them, that there will be an answer. There will be an answer. So there. So I'll leave you with those few thoughts. I hope I haven't spoken for too long, but after Nick's wonderful address and sermon there, I wasn't sure how I would follow that, but so it shall be. God bless you, everyone.
Literally. Thank you, Lynn. Absolutely brilliant. And I want to just share one small. I'm just going to put you on mute as ever because of the echo. But I just want to share one small thing, and I'm going to change the shape of the screen specifically to do that, because as I said, the reason behind that conversation was because of a conversation I'd had in the week. And I was inspired, as ever, to write down 2 words by Spirit after that conversation, because it followed through to a certain other subject. And of course, you started talking about Adam and Eve, and everyone was a little bit concerned about where the yogurt pots were going to come in. So I don't think you needed to worry about a joke. But the conversation led to these 2 words. And of course, there you are. You started talking about Adam and Eve and about how things would have been properly. So God bless you. God bless us. God bless them and the inspiration of Spirit.
Wow.
God bless you, my love, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And the love is being shared as ever. And I'll let you have a read of that while we go on to our first reading of Eve. God bless, my love. God bless, my love. Well, friends, now is the time, of course, when we have our regular reading. Now, I might have given away the game there a little bit. Again, we have got 2 readings this week. We're going to have one later on at the end, and it's a special reading written by someone for a special reason, but I'll let the person who's going to read that explain that story. But to our usual slot, but not necessarily a usual face, but definitely a usual computer, Alan and Penny, Reverends, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. How are you, darlings?
We're all right, thank you. Al's very tired. He's been out potato picking again today, so he's almost falling asleep off the seat here.
Bless him. We'll keep giving him a nudge whilst you're reading.
Yeah, I do. I keep giving him the elbow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight's reading, I want to say thank you, first of all, to Reverend Lynn and to yourself, Reverend Nick. You've given us plenty of food for thought tonight. My goodness, it's all going. And I'm hoping that this reading will also give a little bit of food for thought as well. And it's actually called His Presence, and it's by Laura M. Knight. A friend of mine once asked me just how I could believe in someone I never saw, nor spoken words received. I thought perhaps I should explain just why I have no doubt that it was God's creativeness that brought this world about. I only have to look around to know that He is there. I see and feel and hear Him. That's why I'm so aware. I see Him in the raindrops that nourish trees and flowers. I see Him in the rainbows that sometimes follow showers. I see Him in a mother's love when looking at her child, so thankful that this miracle is pure and undefiled. I see Him in the wrinkled face that's seen so many years, knowing it was faith in Him that overcame all fears. I hear him when a meadowlark trills out its joyful song. I hear him when the thunder comes forth so loud and strong. I see the beauty of him in the butterflies on wing. The feathers of the peacock are the colours he can bring. I feel him, a playful breeze blows gently through my hair. When the sun shines.
Oh,
Frozen.
they have frozen.
They're frozen.
They are frozen. Oh dear, let's try reboot. Oh no, they have disappeared.
Oh, bless.
Well, it's always good to end with a bit of sunshine. And the sun shines, of course. I'm sure we will get the rest of that reading in the not too distant. I will keep an eye on them. They're not coming back instantly. So let's simply slide forward very, very briefly, ineffectually, just like they would on TV. We've lost the signal. We've lost the signal at the moment. We will come back to them just as soon as we can regain them. But in the meantime, let's move on to our next article of the evening. And he is a right article. He's a lovely article, actually. Our second reading will slip it forward. So, Tony, are you there?
I am. Thank you for those kind words, Reverend Nick. Yes, this was sent to me by a really good friend of mine when I told her that we had lost Reverend Wendy Perry to the world of spirit. And she asked if I wanted to read it. And I thought last week would have been a little bit too close for the family. But Nick asked me if I would like to read it tonight. And it's a wonderful poem that she wrote called The Visitor. And it goes, I sat in the quiet of the evening. My thoughts are far away. I still get upset when I think of you leaving, but I have to carry on without you day by day. I close my eyes and imagine you're here. As I lose myself in your memory, I see your face now serene and clear. The tears start slowly as I grieve. I feel your presence as you sit by my side, and I feel you gently touch my hand. Suddenly I become more alive, and the memory of us walking in the sand. And I hear you whisper, do not despair, I am with you. I will always be by your side. It was you that I chose to be with for life. We argued, made up, we laughed, we cried. Sometimes we would just sit and talk, just happy to be together. We had a laugh at something silly, memories that will leave me never. If you feel me leaving, as you gently close the door, I whisper, thank you, God bless you. I love you forevermore. But most of all, I thank you for coming and being my very special visitor.
Beautiful.
I thought that was, I've got tears, sorry.
Yeah, that's understandable. It is a beautiful piece. And, you know, it's good to keep touching base with this because it's important. Now, I know we'll go back to some sunshine in a minute.
Yes, we will.
But it really was very kind of, it was Irene, wasn't it?
It's Irene, yeah.
Be sure your sins will find you out, Rodders. I found out about this poem because I just happened to switch on one of your events online, and the question was asked, did you read it? And I just simply sent a message saying, read what, dear boy? So in very much the way that Wendy would have loved that hilarity and upliftment. So thank you for coming on and sharing that.
No problem.
Well done, mate. Not an easy task to do. God bless you, mate.
No, thank you. God bless you. And have a great evening, Sandra.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless.
God bless you, mate. Thank you. Now, speaking of bringing back the sunshine, literally that's where we go. And yes, I will ask, can a visitor be posted later for us all to read like the other readings? With credits, of course, to Irene. So, and he's nodding yes. So I will translate that through the spirit and medium of communication on computers. So let's see if they're back. Are you back?
We are.
Now, everyone's with bated breath waiting to hear the end of your reading, dear.
Right, let's try again. Let's hope the internet doesn't go again. I'll do it as quickly as I can. I feel him when a playful breeze blows gently through my hair. When the sun shines warmly on my face, I know that he is there. His strength shows in the mountains and the ever-pounding seas. A kitten's purred affection shows how gentle love can be. It's true I have no pictures to hang upon my wall. I do not need a portrait, his presence to recall. For those who wish to listen, it is played throughout the land, the symphony of life itself, directed by his hand.
Wonderful. And of course, that will be posted as well in.
Will be. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I will do my best. I haven't.
Not necessarily tonight, but
I will do my best to get a copy of that posted.
you've got plenty of time. You've got a whole week, Alan. Don't panic.
Don't panic, Captain Mandarin.
Don't panic. And in actual fact, especially the way it finished as well, directed by his hand, that division was a perfect location to actually put Irene's poem as well. And it all ties in wonderfully with Spirit, and what their message to us tonight is the courage of the soul. So thank you both very, very much. And we will see you again soon.
You will. Hopefully.
And next week, Alan, put an extra 10p in the meter, will you, mate?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
God bless you guys. Thanks a lot.
You
See you
sausage.
later.
God bless. Well, friends, now is the time where we move to healing and sending out our healing thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort before we have our demonstration from the lovely Sandra, also known as the Fruit Lady. I had to get that one in. It was so funny the first time I was told you about her. I've got a lady who does fruit. She does something with fruit on the platform. And, you know, it worked out beautifully as well. So there we are. So healing time, my friends. Let us all join together and send out our healing thoughts as we say the healing prayer and have the healing video and then finish with the word Amen. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them, both those we know and those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends, now the time has come in our service to witness a demonstration of all that we have been talking about. Proof that life is eternal, that we all go on. We have waiting in the green room, very diligently and patiently, three lovely young ladies, Leanne, Amanda, and Della. They're all sitting there so very, very patiently, bless their hearts. And of course, we would not have a complete evening without our intermission supervisors of Samantha, Hannah, and Bully waiting to give us the earmark that we're at the last message. So they are definitely waiting in the wings there. So moving on, I know someone sitting there panicking like you wouldn't believe. So let's get her up here and see that we're not that bad, really. Leanne, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, sweetie. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Fabulous, thank you, fabulous.
Lovely,
Good to
Anne.
see.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm going to get out the way now and leave you two to it, and I'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Thank you, Nick. Hello, Leanne. So you're a bit nervous. Don't be scared of me. I'm all right.
I don't know.
Have you ever had a reading before? Because I feel that this is sort of newish to you.
I went to one where there was loads of people in a hall.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get that. Okay. Because I'm feeling that although that reading was okay, you didn't quite get the proof that you wanted.
No.
It was a bit bitty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can do any better. Remember, there's just you and me, all right?
Yep.
I've actually, okay, my guide is called Eric. Lovely, lovely man. He's brought in a lovely lady for you. She's standing, oh, she smells gorgeous. I'll say that. She smells lovely. She smells of soap, of cleansiness, of a very fine hint of cherry blossom, orange blossom sort of perfume. It wasn't a heavy perfume. It was a very light perfume that she would wear, but it wasn't like a cologne or anything. It would be from what she used to. I feel she had like a skin condition. There was something wrong with her skin, and she used to have to put some cream on it. Okay. Okay. This. Okay. I've got this lady. She's coming through. Who are you, darling? Okay. I'm wanting to say mum. However, it's a mum feel. So I want to take a slightly higher than mum, but she looked after you quite a lot. So I want to say like a grandmother or an auntie. Can you take that?
Yeah.
Round you, she was when you were growing up. She was around you a lot, and she would sit with you. I actually don't want to say she's proper family, but she's like an extended part of the family, like mum's very bestest of friends. That
No.
relationship. Okay, I've got this. Okay, give me a little bit more, please. Okay. Okay. She's just giving me, oh gosh, she's giving me so much. She's making me tingle. Why are you making me tingle? Okay. Okay, I can't take her away. I want to bring her in on like an auntie, on your grandmother's level. So it'd be grandmother, but she was a best friend of your grandmother. Okay. She wants to say, being very sketchy at the moment. Let me just. She seems to be very, very nervous. She had like a bit of a nervous disposition. She's just saying that your grandmother was the one that always kept her sane. Because she didn't have a very good life. Okay, let me just find out why she's here. Is that you whirring in the background, or is that something I'm hearing? Like
I'm not sure.
Like a washing machine or something going.
Oh, it might be my laptop.
All right, okay. Because if I'm hearing that, she's coming forward. Oh, okay. Thank you for bringing her in. She's okay. She's actually bringing in your grandmother. Grandmother was very, very nervous. She wasn't sure whether she'd be able to talk to you because she wasn't quite sure why she didn't get your okay. She's very confused, and I'm feeling that she was very confused when she passed, like she had dementia or Alzheimer's, something like that. Your grandmother had a touch of that around about the time that she passed. She was very confused, and she didn't really know what was going on when she passed. And then when she did pass, she was quite amazed at how suddenly her mind was quite clear and she could think again. Okay, if you can't take that, just hold it, and you might hear it from the family. Okay. Were you? I don't normally ask questions. Were you with your grandmother when she passed? Because I don't feel you actually were.
No. No. My grandmother's still alive.
Is she?
Yeah.
She's giving me grandmother feel. So in that case, I am actually going to take her to your great grandmother. She's definitely saying grandmother, because they don't always say I'm your great whatever. They come through as grandmother, because that's how they would see themselves. Because you wouldn't actually go up to her if she was alive and say, "Oh, hello, great grandma." You just wouldn't you? So, so I am going to take her up to that level, to the great grandmother level. Okay. And what she's saying is that she was very, very confused. Ask your grandmother and your mum. She was quite confused when she passed, but she's just letting you know, and to pass it on to the rest of the family, that she's got all her faculties back, and she knows what you're doing. She knows what's going on around you. She's saying all these. Okay, she's coming to that washing machine, and she's saying, she's giving me washing machine. She's saying all these new fandangle things because she doesn't know what this computer thing is. So she wants to try and get it to associate it with something that she knows about. And she's saying that even in her time, new things that came along, even though it was using hands, was still quite a challenge for her as she got older and older. She's saying that she wants you to look after yourself a lot more. You don't seem to. Okay, no, I can't say it that way. Hang on. She's okay. She was very, very blunt lady, and you're very much the same. And you call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
You won't take no for a flipping answer, will you? You're your own worst enemy, she says. Sometimes you just won't let it go. Okay. No. You're looking into something at the moment that you believe is wrong, and you are out there to prove it's wrong. And she's saying, let it go. Just for now, let it go. Because the more you keep looking, the worse it's going to get for the person it's for. Can you take that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. She's saying you've got to let them find it themselves, but when they do get the answer and they come back to you, you will already know the answer, because it's going to sound cockeyed. You already know the answer already. Yeah. Does that make sense? You already know the answer. Stop trying to prove it. All right? What you've got to do is you've got to let them prove it themselves. Can you take that?
Yeah.
Because otherwise they're not going to learn. Okay? No. And no saying, I told you so. You've just got to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Great grandma is saying that she wants to give a really old-fashioned pink English rose that she used to grow in her garden, and she wants to give you a nice. Have you seen those? There's loads and loads of petals on them. They've got a really strong smell. She's saying that she wants to give you that with her love, and just to remind you, look after yourself, and then everybody else will be fine. They'll be fine around you. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll leave her love with you. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're right, cuz.
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Yes, it's a naughty little secret. This is actually my cousin Sandra. Literally, we put the message out. Would anybody like a reading? And then suddenly this little name popped up that I recognised and said, "Oh yes, please." So thank you for coming on, cousin Leanne. Good to see you again. I also recall once that you did have a message from a very young and inexperienced medium at a family party one Christmas.
Yeah.
Because that's what I spent my whole time doing. Rather than singing Knees Up Mother Brown, it was communicating with a few people called Mother Brown, depending on what side of the family we were talking to. But it is really, really good to see you, darling, and thank you for coming on, and I hope that helped.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
No problem at all. See you soon, babe.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Well, friends, our next recipient, sitting so patiently there with this scrunched up face that says, "Is it going to be me next?" Well, Amanda, yes, it is going to be you next. It's so fun to watch people in that. So come on up, my darling. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Hello, darling.
Hi.
Well, I'm going to leave you two to it again, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Hello, Amanda.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Let me see. Okay, what have I got? Okay, my God, I've got loads of people around me. And I've just suddenly gone really sort of goosebumpy and cold. Okay, somebody's coming really, really close. Let me see who you are, please. Gentleman. I've got a gentleman that's coming close for you. Okay, stop looking back. Okay, right. This gentleman, the first words out of his mouth is, because I keep looking behind me, he's saying, "Stop looking back." And he's not saying that to me. He's saying that to you. All right. Let me see if I can get who he is. Okay. Okay. He's given me the messages first. He's saying, "I've got to get straight in there. I'm an impatient person." But she knew that anyway. Okay. I've got him wearing glasses. Okay. I've actually got him very similar in face shape to you. And he's got like really old NHS brown thick glasses on.
Right.
Okay. He didn't have to wear them all the time, but he was lazy. He didn't want to take them off, so he couldn't be bothered. So they would end up being on the side of his table. And if he put them on, he put them on. If he didn't, he didn't. But when they were on, they stayed on. Can you take that?
I think so.
Okay. And that's what he was through life. He could take it, he could leave it, he wasn't bothered. But if it came to family and family were upset, or somebody had upset someone in the family, that sort of thing, it'd be the first one there. It wouldn't be your grandma. Oh, okay, granddad. It wouldn't be grandma, who was the hierarchy, if you like, of the family. Grandma was very much in charge of family at that time. He would often say, you know, okay, you go on with everyday life and all the rest of it, that's fine. But if somebody upsets me, I'm in there. I'm upset. I'm going to sort them out. And he would be the front line of defense for your family. Can you take that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, are we another level up? Is his granddad alive? Granddad on mum's side, actually. No, it's definitely granddad on mum's side then, because they're showing me mum. But he's saying that he was front line. And okay, but this seems to be the theme tonight. All right, front line. You're the same. You're the same. You upset me, and you've had it. You're like that. Don't step on my toes, especially when it comes to family. Treat me right, we're fine. Yeah. And I've got somebody around you at the moment. He's telling me that there's a man around you at the moment who is treading on your toes just a little bit too much. And you want to tell him to back off, but you don't know how to. Okay, you will find the way, and it will be the most unexpected way, the most unexpected time. All right, because you're just gonna suddenly go pop. He's gonna, it's just gonna come out of the blue, and it's just gonna be right. Do you know that is such a stupid thing to say? I can't take this anymore, and you're gonna lay into him, and you know, not physically.
No.
You know, I haven't got the right note. But he's saying you've got to let it out, because if you don't, he says if you don't, you're going to start shrinking, and you are not a shrinking violet, are you?
No.
Don't let him bully you. All right. Show him that you not that you're necessarily the boss, but show him you're his equal. All right, you are his equal, and you've got to show him that, because at the moment he thinks he's got one over on you. Show him he hasn't. All right, Granddad's saying that he's right behind you, giving you that push, because every now and again you get that sudden urge, that not just with him but with anything in life, you get, should I say something? Should I do something? Yes, I'm going to do it. And then you confront and you shrink. You go to say something, and then something is said, and it just takes you back. Yeah, it takes your breath away, sort of thing, without actually taking your breath away. Can you take that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what Granddad is saying, he's saying, when you've got that adamantness in your mind to say something, say it. Because in this life, you are not going to get anywhere by being silent. All right. He's also telling me about, there's something around work. There's a situation around work it's not moving fast enough for you. You're trying to sort out a problem at work, and it's not personally for you, it's for somebody else. You're trying to find the answers to a problem at work, but you're looking in the wrong place.
Great.
He's saying come out of the box. Take your thinking out of the box, because this is not a normal thing. This is not, he wants to tell me, he's showing me a case. It's not a normal case. Can you take that?
Yeah.
You've got to think out of the box to gain this person's trust.
Okay.
All right. And you will. You will. Don't be afraid of using personal. There's only so far you can use personal information. Okay. So if you can get through to this person, to this person that you need to speak with, by using a scenario that you've been through, but don't use names or use fictional names or whatever, then that's the way to move forward. They have to see that they're not alone. Can you take that?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're saying, don't lie, just
bend it.
Bend it. That's the word. Just bend it. All right. Without giving any personal information away, because you're in a situation you cannot afford to give personal information, because it could be used against you. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's your word. Yeah. Okay, I understand that. So what you need to do is just put your brain into gear and your heart. All right, and your heart. Okay. But remember, stop being bullied. You are a strong lady, and Granddad is saying, you're one of us. Come on, girl. All right. He wants me to give you tomatoes. He's giving me a big kind of tomatoes. And he's saying that's twofold. One, they're red, which is lots and lots of love. And two, the tomato is actually, oh, here we go, Nick. The tomato is actually a fruit.
Okay.
And fruit is the source of goodness. So you need to implement more fruit into your eating to gain those vitamins. Okay? And he sends you lots of love.
Thank you.
Okay, good. God bless.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, good. It's good to have you on here. I'm so pleased you've decided to come on, and thank you for joining us. And I know very much so that a certain young lady will be thrilled that you came on for a message.
Okay.
And I think you know that too.
Yeah.
So bless your heart, and God bless you, and good on you, kid, and fight the good fight. And also, of course, we know that tomatoes are very, very good for throwing, especially when they're all soft and squishy.
Yeah.
They don't hurt, but they do leave a rather nice mess. So there we go. Thank you, my darling. God bless you, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Bless her. Well, friends, we are coming up to our final reading of the evening. When we were talking earlier on, Lynn mentioned about miracles and having to make the miracles happen ourselves. And we've just had a comment that Nick's glass has miraculously refilled itself. And it's also got ice in it now. It's not a miracle. It's just a very heavy elbow with a bottle from a fridge. So there we go. The things we do. I'm sure I'm not the only person currently putting something in their mouth watching this service at the moment. Because we can do that here now. And it doesn't have to be biscuits or one of my dad's cup of teas. It can be whatever we like. Although I must admit, I've had lots of comments also that we all miss dad's cup of tea. And to be honest with you, I'm there you go, not the only one having a cup of tea. And I will say this finally, we also get plenty of comments, not just about how spiritualism can't be Christianity and how we can't communicate with the dead, but we also get comments that our biscuits are soggy, but ours never were. Ours are always in an airtight tin and very, very crunchy and very, very wholesome too. And speaking of wholesome, we now have a favourite part of mine and a very, very uplifting part of the service. She's been patient. It's now time. Let's put her on screen. Hannah, what time is it? Bully's special prize. Thank you, my darling. How are you?
Good.
Good. And how's Samantha?
I'm good. Just hiding.
I do like your pan facility on your videos there. It's good to see you both. Probably the most wholesome and clean living part of our service now is the bully special prize part. Certainly you don't slip your words and describe someone in the way I did earlier. I can't even remember what it was now, but I did get my words up. But it's always a pleasure to see you both here. Well, I should say all three of you in actual fact, because bully is also an essential part of your job.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely is. There he is. Bless him. Well, thank you both very, very much, and we'll see you at the end of the service.
See you later.
Mwah! God bless you. Oh, I do love that bit. It really, really does cheer me up. Well, now we come to, yes, so there you go. Bully is part of our family. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got a little bit of black and red coming up right now, I see, by the color of the costume, or at least it is in the shading that I see right now. I met this lady when I was but a younger fella, so come on up. It's time for Della.
Hiya.
Hello,
Yeah.
Deborah.
How you doing, sweetie?
I'm fine, thanks. You?
Fabulous. Right, I'm going to leave you two to it, and I'll see you
All right.
shortly.
Thank you.
Hello, Della. Nice to see you.
Yeah, hi Sandra, and you.
Okay, let me see what I've got. Okay, as I was waiting for you, I'm aware of a little child in spirit running around here, and I want to say little girl. Okay, and she's got lovely plaity hair. She would have had it in plaits and all nice and tidy, but I'm also getting that she loved long hair and she'll never get it cut because she just loves long hair. She loves it. She loved it being brushed. She loved it being played with. She went much before her time.
Yeah, I lost a little girl.
Thank you. Okay, she's just telling me she's actually the one that's been playing with my puppy that I'm puppy sitting at the moment. We were wondering, little monkey. I like this. I've got a little terrier, and she's just over a year old, and I've been sitting her this week for my daughter, but she's been so mischievous these last couple of days. And wanting to play, and she's actually barking at someone, and I could sense the little girl that was around, and I kept asking her, please leave her alone, she's supposed to be resting and everything, but now she's telling me no. I can feel that energy. It's the same energy. It's her. All right.
Oh,
she's been here obviously waiting, knowing that you were going to need this message. Okay, she must have known. They always seem to know before us, don't they? That spirit is so amazing. Okay,
yeah, incredible.
She's got a thumb in her mouth and she's trying to think about how she wants to say what she wants to say, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. She's saying she's actually learned to speak properly, and she's actually pronounced the word properly in a quite an old English tone. Okay, and in the background, I've got like okay, I want to say grandmother. I want to say your grandmother is in the background with her. Very English, old Queen's English.
Yes.
In her way of speaking, and she almost wants me to take, okay, with my voice, she wants me to take me back to when I was a child and when we used to talk properly.
Yeah, that sounds like Nan.
Long time since I've talked like that. It's awful how we've lost that Queen's English speaking, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a shame, but there you go. But she's okay. I can't get a name. She doesn't give me a name. Can you give me a name?
What, the little girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
She never had a name. About 4 months pregnant when I lost her.
You never called her, and you never called her anything.
She was always my little angel.
Okay, that's fair enough. That'll be why I'm being told Angel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a name. It's a name. This is a name. Okay. Angel is telling me you need to use that name whenever you speak with her, because you speak with her often, especially around the anniversary time of when she was supposed to be born.
Yeah.
And she's making me feel as if that's around about nowish.
Yes, it would have been, yeah, the end of the month.
Lovely, thank you. And that's why she's come forward. She's saying, stop. No more tears. I don't want the tears. I want the smiles on my anniversary. I love the candle and I love the flowers. she's saying. But stop, no more tears, because
Okay.
I am growing in spirit. I am growing. She's actually coming forward as sort of 6, 7 years old.
Oh no, she would have been older than that.
No, she's showing me.
Oh, she's showing you, yeah.
She's showing me that her age. Okay, she's presenting herself to me as a 6, 7 year old, because
Okay.
it's especially when she's combing her hair and loving it, just absolutely loving it. She's playing with mine, which is unusual because it's long. I normally have it really short, but she loves playing with hair. And she's showing me this. The reason why she likes playing with my puppy is because there was a little dog around you at the time, and,
Yeah.
and that was her baby.
Yeah, I quite believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's saying always that little doggy. She's always there, always with it,
Oh, bless her, that's lovely.
always with her. Yeah, Grandma is saying that she's teaching her the way that you were taught. She does speak proper English, as we call it. And whenever you hear that, you get messages, and it is proper English speaking words. You get it in your head and you think, where's that come from? It is a combination between Grandma and Angel talking with you.
Oh, that's lovely.
And Angel is saying, Mummy, please take note of what I'm saying. Write it down if you have to, because once you've written it down, it will start making sense. She's trying very hard to communicate with you.
Oh,
She's choking me up. All right. And she really, really wants to communicate with you. Okay. She's also saying that the celebrations that are coming up need to be a bit more, a few more balloons. She wants balloons, she wants jelly, she wants ice cream, she wants cake. She wants you to make a huge thing about it, please.
yes. Oh, okay, we will.
Lovely. Okay.
Definitely.
Oh, she's given me a little box. It's a white box, and it has a white satin ribbon tied around it in the shape of a bow. She's saying, look out for the little box. It has a little bit of jewelry in it, and you haven't had a look at it for a long time. You need to wear it.
Okay. And that's
Thank you. You need to wear it. Stop hiding it.
I will.
All right. And she
Yes.
loves you so much.
I always, yeah, I mean, she would have been sort of about 18 now.
Yes.
But the long hair and that I can take with my other daughters. Because
Okay.
they used to wear their hair as well. So, yeah, that was incredible. Thank you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Mwah. God bless.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Della.
Hi.
Hey, babe. And of course, our spirit children, they do tend to mimic their brothers and sisters on the earth plane through characterization. Having 7 brothers and sisters in the world of spirit, myself, I have seen this on more than one occasion.
We
In
know
actual
that, don't we, Nick?
Yeah, and in actual fact, when my niece was going through her goth stage, you wouldn't believe it to look at her now. My one of my sisters used to turn up with black hair and move towels when people were in the shower. It was quite amusing. Not so much at the time, of course, but these wonderful things that the world of spirit can do to help us get through these things is absolutely beautiful. Be it a little sideways joke hidden to bring someone's mood up, to messages of love from those that we thought we'd lost. I think it's absolutely wonderful. So thank you, Della, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sandra.
Well, friends, we're going to have our closing prayer shortly, but as ever, she is sitting so patiently waiting and ready. Her timing is impeccable, and so is her appearance, for we now welcome back our principal minister for her final thought.
Well, well done to Sandra.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work. And I think it's so important, isn't it, to know that our loved ones are still around and still able to help us. It's amazing. You know, we don't know precisely how this happens and how it works, almost really, if you like, in the way that we are able to broadcast tonight, you know, without needing to know all the ins and outs and the, you know, all the equations and calculations that go into it. You know, we can just sort of, you know, press a button and there we are talking to each other. And there are so many people from all over the world. And I would like to mention that at some point I know that we have a new person who is a minister, a Master of Divinity, in fact, in Canada, who is looking at joining us and taking our ministry course and starting a new Christian Spiritualist Society group in Halifax, in Nova Scotia, in Canada. So this is already happening. His name, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning his name, Jeffrey Roy, and we're hoping that he will become a minister for the NCSS. And I'm sure that he'll be watching this, and I don't know whether he'll thank me or not for mentioning it in advance, as we're just having our, you know, preliminary discussions and so on at the moment. But, you know, the other thing, of course, that we're very keen on is to have this proof of survival given to us in evidential communications, you know, from good mediums. And, you know, you certainly fulfilled that, Sandra, tonight. So, you know, that's really marvellous. You know, people are always saying, you know, well, in spiritualist circles, you know, what about all the old ones, you know, and everything. But, you know, we have still got very, very good mediums. And, you know, of course, we always get the odd thing that recipients don't quite grasp or understand. But usually the penny drops, you know, maybe that you know, after they've gone home or something like that. But it was very good tonight. So, you know, when you think that we're going out to hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people, not just, you know, the congregation that we usually have in our village hall here. But so I was very pleased, and I was also pleased to see that Della got a wonderful message from her daughter in spirit, because we, as spiritualists, we understand that, you know, spirit enters into the physical flesh and bones of us right from the beginning. We don't talk about, oh, well, when they've taken their first breath or at some particular time. I've heard people quote anything, you know, you can quote anything from 6 weeks to 3 months, to 6 months, to 7 months and a bit. You know, the fact is that if we are accepting that we are all spirit and we're spirit in bodies, then the spirit is with the body straight away. And, you know, in the very sort of structure of our, you know, beginnings, and cataclysmic is it, and the spirit enters the body then. And, you know, if people want to or need to terminate that physical personage that they're carrying, that is their particular prerogative. You know, as human beings, we're given reason and knowledge and you know, ways of thinking things through that are not given to you know, the animal kingdom as such. So we're in that very lofty position that God has placed us in. But the fact is that, you know, it's so nice to know that people who haven't come here to the earth plane and have returned to spirit are actually able to make their presence felt, and particularly when their presence has been missed so much. You know, perhaps not so much when people have, you know, taken a decision not to bring another person into the world itself, but where people have, you know, had a misfortune and not been able to bring forth that new person into the world, it's wonderful to know that we have people who come to us from spirit and let us know that they are in fact, you know, our offspring, and they weren't able to actually come and join us down here, but they are able to join us from the world of spirit. And I think that was a wonderful message, and so uplifting, and so, you know, really miraculous. There you are. I think, you know, Reverend Nick was talking about miracles. That's another one, isn't it? You know, the miracle of people who haven't actually come to the earth plane, even, who have just been in the body for a while and then had to return back for whatever reason, are able to actually grow themselves in the world of spirit and make themselves known to the people that would have expected to be welcoming them at some point. Interestingly, we were talking about the age of Della's offspring. I got told that it was around that age that Della actually mentioned to you that you know, she would have been. But yeah, so thank you so much, Sandra. It was lovely. And you know, of course, we all thank Reverend Nick for actually, you know, presenting all this and doing all the hard work behind the scenes, because he isn't just, you know, a wonderful medium and speaker and healer himself. He's also a technological wizard, and actually he brings, you know, he brings his expertise of earthly matters, you know, like sort of electronic technology, for the benefit of spirit, and I think that's wonderful. So long may they inspire him to do that.
Definitely. Amen. Amen.
God bless you, and God bless you, Reverend Lynn. Thank you for that. Very, very kind, as ever. And I will just briefly use my wizardy fingers to silence you briefly while I speak, so people don't get feedback loops. But yes, I absolutely second everything Lynn said. What a wonderful demonstration. So thank you for a wonderful evening, Sandra.
I love coming and serving the church. It, you know, I call you home, and it's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. And now, my friends, remain both up here with me, for it is time to say a prayer. So using those earthly, magical, wizardy fingers, I'm going to get everybody up right now on screen. Here we go. Is everybody up? Is everybody here? Excellent. That's
apart from Al. Al's gone to bed.
Al's gone to bed. We'll let him
really?
I will let him off just this once, of course.
Oh no, she's there.
Bless him. So, friends, thank you all for being part of a wonderful evening. Cousin Leanne had to go and cook tea, so she had to dash off, but we let her off as well, of course. So thank you to everyone for being part of this service. Thank you to Sandra for a wonderful demonstration. Thank you to Reverend Lynn for coming up and speaking with us as ever every week. We look forward to more news about our Canadian contingent, which will be fantastic. And of course, everybody knows that we all need a little bit of help. And as the old advert said, you can always get a little bit of extra help from Halifax. So we know we will do too. So thank you for Tony for coming on and giving us that reading. Please extend our love and thanks to Irene. Thank you to Penny for coming on and giving us your reading twice, which was, you know, absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Della, for coming on and, you know, proving that life is eternal by being one of our victims, slash, of course, one of our recipients. And Amanda also the same. Thank you so much. And of course, Samantha, Hannah, and Bully, as ever, wonderful to see you all. So let us all send out our thoughts to the world. Please include in your prayers for healing. I've been asked to mention a name. Linda Graham is in requirement of healing. Please send out our healing thoughts to her. I'd also like to thank everyone for putting their name down for future week's readings. I'll be in touch over the next few days We've got quite a few, so we're all lined up. So thank you for that. God bless you all, and let us all now join in prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, we thank you for, as always, for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, and demonstrate, witness, and prove that life is indeed eternal. I ask for a blessing to be placed on each person here present, all those watching at home and all those that will watch, and all those that are unable to and are in need of your blessing. Indeed, dear Lord, we ask for them too. So until we meet again, which will be in your name, may the peace of the Great Spirit go with us all, in the name of love, in the name of truth, and in the name of light. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends, that concludes our service. Thank you, everyone, again for watching at home. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for everyone who's come on. And until next week, when we will be back with more mediumship, more proof of life eternal, more readings, another bit of bully, and of course, lots more from Reverend Lynn. God bless you all. May the peace of the Great Spirit go with you all. But until then, good night and God bless.